Dear Mom, I had a few minutes to write down what's itching inside my mind. It's been too long since we have talked about nothing at all. Wish I could call. I know you're lost. Please don't you worry. There's no need to hurry. Just stay strong. It won't be long before we're together. Right here in heaven. I miss you, Mom. Dear Mom, please believe I've done everything I needed to. Dear Mom, I'll be there when you breathing while you're sleeping. Dear Mom, I know you are hurting, feeling the burden of me not there. You're way too strong to give up on living instead of still giving the love in your heart. I know it's hard, but never forget the things that I did and the reasons why you are my mom. So please keep on living, caring and giving. I love you, Mom. Dear Mom, please believe I've done everything I needed to. Dear Mom, I'll be there when you breathe while you're sleeping. I can't believe I'm saying these words to you, but believe what I'm saying. You made me the man that I am. Dear Mom, please believe I've done everything I needed to. Dear Mom, I'll be here when you breathe while you're sleeping. I love you, Mom.
From the great state of Texas, welcome to another edition of Rev Nation. And I'm just going to say it one more time. Damn, I love that song. All right. Welcome to Rev Nation, where we grease the squeaky wheel of socialism with liberal tears and take over the planet one radio wave at a time. And as always, there is no passport required. Let me take a minute and thank VRS, the Veteran Radio Syndicate, for giving us this platform. And please visit the page, like the millions of others. Check out the hero program started by George Pardos, the VRS HMFIC. All the cool swag and awesome shows that make up this great station. And we will introduce one of the other hosts of a show on VRS here in just a moment. You could be other places, but you're here, and for that we thank you. We may not be as much fun as Helen Keller answering an iron when the phone rang, but we do come with a money-back guarantee. If you like what you hear and see, be one of the cool kids. Share our page and the show, because we can't do this without you. Just before I get into anything else, I just want to say this is a special week for us here at TTR, and hopefully we're helping VRS out as well. We reached over 100,000 this week, and I just want to say thank y'all. It's clicks, shares, whatever. It's over 100,000, so the message is getting out. All right, just a quick disclaimer. The views on the show do not reflect the views of VRS or its owners. As always, we will list our sources and express our views, but keep in mind, these are our views, so please don't get butthurt. With no further ado, I am joined by the woman so cool that even Joe Biden remembers her name. The most American woman alive, Amanda Allen.
That just happened.
I love that. Best yet. Best yet.
The man that put the hero in Jukebox Hero without being a foreigner, Shannon. Libro book. And last but not least, the man that all Call of Duty characters are modeled after, Jared, the J-Red. I am regular guy, and we'll try to navigate this show that we call Rev Nation. How the hell are y'all tonight? We got Baron and Minnie in the house.
What's up?
I don't even know what to say to your face right now.
It's always an adventure listening to the regular guy.
I feel like I need to spike my Copenhagen.
It gets harder each week. It really does.
At least I know I'm memorable. That's a plus. I appreciate that. I do.
Although he did look for you in the magnolia trees on the other side of the White House, but that's okay.
I have a feeling Joe Biden looks for a lot of things he can't find.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Mainly his mind.
Well, we've got a guest coming on tonight. His name is Jason Mariner. He's running for Congress there in the great state of Florida. We will bring him on shortly. He's having a few technical issues right now, and we're waiting for him to come into the show, so we'll get him on just as soon as I get that all figured out. And real quick, our T-shirts, there's a 2-week delay on it. Got the email just a little while ago, of course, because of COVID. So anyways, we'll get them out to y'all as soon as we get them. So we're anxiously awaiting that.
Check out these T-shirts. Hold on.
Uh-oh, there they are.
I'm a fan. I can't wait to brand ambassador these.
I can't wait to get them so you can be a brand ambassador.
Yeah.
That's it. All the cool kids are going to have them. So there you go. It's how'd y'all's week go? Mine's been pretty shitty, but
Roller coaster like normal.
Yes, sir.
The usual.
Well, John,
watching the world turn and burn.
John, if you would introduce yourself and talk about your show for just a second.
Oh, sure. John Kermer, United States Marine Corps veteran. 2311 was my MOS. Been with VRS 6 years. I'm an OG of the Veteran Radio Syndicate, card carrying member of the E4 Mafia, allegedly. And
shocker.
I do two shows here on VRS. I do the bar on Wednesdays at 2000 Eastern Standard Time, and Sports Church Sunday at 1900 Eastern Standard Time, which is a pretty hard show to do lately, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And a long lost distant brother of mine.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. I love my devil dogs. Every Marine does. I mean, we have a very weird relationship. I think they're pretty much the most insane fucks on the planet, because here's the devil dog's job. Corbin, Marine, down. Guy just got shot right there. What does he do?
Goes right fucking there.
Right
there.
fucking there.
Right there.
While everybody else is saying, get the fuck off the X.
Yes.
Go into the X.
Yes.
Yeah. It's pretty much how it works.
We love
But then everybody wants to go, oh, Motrin change your socks and blah, blah, blah.
Hey.
Meanwhile, we're treating you for syphilis in Bangkok.
and not saying anything to command or anything, too. Yeah, exactly.
That's funny that you chose that location. But
And they're usually...
That wasn't by accident.
Another thing I'll say about Corbin is they're always, the ones I had were always a little, they were enablers.
Oh, yeah.
Because we're about ready to get into some shit, and I'm like, oh, let's stop. It's not worth it. Doc's like, I got my pack in the car. Like, fuck, here we go.
Yep. Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, like, Corman are people with ADD or ADHD because we just want to get shit done. We want to do stuff.
Yep.
So if there's nothing going on, we get bored real easy. We'll definitely make sure Marine gets hurt.
Yeah. Walking around with floor signs.
I used to say it all the time, man. Hey, listen. Hey, Doc, watch this. Hold on. Let me get my med bag. I know I'm going to stitch. I'm going to have to stitch somebody up.
Yep. Do you think you can rappel from the 4th floor with bed sheets? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
or
Damn right.
or if you're in 29 Palms and just decide to jump from the third floor onto a pile of mattresses. Not that I've ever seen that, because I have.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Well, that place will make you do funky things for sure.
Yeah,
you're
you
not wrong.
shitheads are why rules are made.
Oh, we're walking safety briefs for sure.
Yes.
The funniest safety brief I ever had in the Navy was, so I was in the Navy in North Florida whenever Four Loko first came out, before they dialed it down like a ton. And
Back when it was crack with alcohol in it.
I was ridiculous on that shit.
The shocker.
And so finally, after like the fifth ARI in 2 weekends on a at a 200 person command, our corpsman got on the 1MC before we left for the weekend and was like, "Do not drink that shit, please."
Yeah.
Begging us.
Listen, I remember Cisco back in the day when Cisco was brand new, and it may or may not have been a newer, popular version of Mad Dog 2020, and I'm pretty sure, like, I was in Corps school, and one of my student friends OD'd on Cisco, like alcohol poisoned in the middle of the berthing, like shakes, the whole 9 yards,
fuck.
and it was awesome. It was epic.
I thought that you were talking about the thong song, dude. That's where I thought we were going with that.
OD on that too.
I'm thinking Cisco and Marines, Corpsman, thong song. Yeah, it makes complete sense though.
Yep.
All those dots connected for sure.
Thong to thong, thong, thong.
I couldn't help it. I couldn't.
Minnie, I'm glad you're on here tonight, because I need this support. I promise you.
Brother. Yeah, you're 6.
I love how Rangers are always like, Rangers lead the way. I'm like, yep, sure. As soon as the freaking Marine Corps softens everything up for you.
Well, it's you see, happy birthday, regular guy. I turned the big 50 today. I'm half a century old, and got one of the coolest gifts last night. I sent y'all a picture that I have ever gotten in my life, and as y'all know, I'm like the biggest Kiss fan ever. And so Yvette got me.
The tongue, don't you?
Do what?
You like the tongue, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh,
I get it, man.
Yeah.
It's okay.
He's more of a Paul Stanley guy without the shirt on kind of guy.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it.
but and she got me the backstage pass, the autograph picture, and Paul Stanley. I was like, wow! It just, it blew me away. So
It was cool.
anyways, thank you, Yvette. That was an awesome gift. And
Happy birthday, you old son of a bitch.
I am the grandpa.
Yeah.
I am
I'm
the grandpa.
still trying to figure out how you survived this long.
Me too. My mom actually said that today when she called to tell me happy birthday. She said,
Even your mom's like, how the fuck have you lived this long, you dumb son of a bitch?
she lived with she's with my dad for forever. So I'm my dad made over, and wow, yeah, it's nuts. I've done some really stupid things in my life, but here we are to talk about it. So
I mean, your dad was a real warrior, though.
yes, he was. Man, I'm hoping our guest is going to get on here pretty soon, but
Oh wow, Golden Girls.
Not the Golden Girls.
I may or may not have gotten a phone call. Okay? It was a telephone call.
Sure it was. So now you're literally your new name is Amanda, the Most American Golden Girl.
Yeah.
Well,
Dude, that's a badass show, though. You
It is.
cannot deny that is a fucking hilarious show. I love the Golden Girls. And that actually was my daughter's cell phone. This is hers.
That's pretty
This is
cool.
mine. I promise this is one that was ringing. But when Bud calls me, that's his ringtone. It's the Golden Girls.
Shocker.
I promise you.
I'm so shocked right now.
well,
If
guys,
he's listening, you'll call.
Man, I heard something interesting about Texas.
what's that?
They've done sent Sergeant at Arms going out to grab people up and deliver warrants.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's
I like
it.
Oh,
Oh,
James is my favorite.
he said the same thing about me, so it's okay.
You're lying.
Well, thinks you look like Santa.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, guys, you've heard of Snakes on a Plane, right? Remember that movie, Snakes on a Plane?
Sure.
I'm done with all these snakes on these motherfucking planes.
Samuel L. Jackson. But now we have COVID on a ship. It's Did y'all see the HMS Queen Elizabeth?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So the flagship for the Royal Navy, they're out to sea 100% vaccinated, and they have an outbreak at sea.
Crazy.
Well, I'm just saying, if you look at the percentages, it's like, so it's going to happen.
Yep.
But okay, if they're 100% vaccinated and you're out at sea, how does that happen?
The vaccine.
It's airborne. Duh.
Airborne.
It's everywhere.
Listen, you really want me to address this seriously as a corpsman? Because I'm about to.
Okay.
No, we don't want to get shut down tonight.
What are the chances?
Hey, our guest just showed up on it.
So first and foremost, they literally stated that if you are vaccinated, you are now a super carrier.
Yay.
Not according to the President of the United States.
I don't care. Nobody listens to that dude anyway.
That's what I'm saying. That's why it's funny, because
at least he knows who I am. Shit.
In quotations, he said, if you get the jab, you will not get sick, you will not go to the hospital, you will not die. His exact words.
Collect $200. Actually, if you get the jab, you'll collect like $10,000. Whatever.
But that's only if you pass go and don't go to jail. So there you go.
Whatever.
Well, I mean, it's funny how America has traditionally always had a severe distrust of government, except in the last, I'd say, 30 years. Every time something crazy goes on, everybody does what? Where's the government? And that breeds trust. Unfortunately, why are you trusting the government?
Misguided.
The worst thing you ever want to hear is, I'm here for the government. I'm here for the government, and I'm here to help. No, thank you.
Ronald Reagan. Famous words of Ronald Reagan.
I'm so Ronnie. Good on that. Like, it's just and
regular guy.
Fauci, the Fauci ouch. Trust the science. Trust the science. Well, the science has been perpetuated by a guy who, by the way, has been employed by the government since the late '60s.
Not only that,
hold the line, and if you don't think he's a company guy,
he
is.
Of course he is.
How do we go from not trusting ever and keeping government out of almost every aspect of our life we can to all of a sudden sitting like what's that orphan dude, with his bowl out? Please, can I have some more, sir? Please? No, how can you have pudding if you can't eat your meat?
Don't make fun of me.
Are you talking about this guy?
Yes.
Ta-da.
I see it in my dreams.
You do a slideshow of Fauci leading Democrats, the progressives, the squad, and line up pictures of them, and then line up a bunch of pictures of conservatives, and you can tell. You could take somebody from Zimbabwe and go, who's happy, who's not, and they'll point to the pictures of the progressives as not being happy because they always look like this.
Correct.
And you see the picture of the conservatives who are calm, cool, collective, and generally speaking, fairly happy people. Just kind of like, every picture I see on any website, whether it's NBC, CNN, they all look like I just robbed their sister or something. Like, it's just, I don't know.
My grandma used to always say they needed to get more fiber.
No,
I can't with you. What's funny is like you can literally create a video and edit it to however you want it on your cell phone nowadays. So people believing what they see in the media cracks me up.
Just trust them.
Yep. It's unreal.
Trust the science. Fauci doesn't even trust the science. He didn't know what the hell he was talking about.
No. I mean, think about it just now. Even the Chinese, the WHO, are walking back on whether the Wuhan Weezer was actually leaked from a lab. Even the Chinese are like, Of course, they've had a year and a half of time to cover up. And I'm sure at 1.4 billion people, there's a few smart cookies in there that could probably clean that up in a year and a half.
I mean, let's not count how many people they killed and to cover shit up, but
we've been talking about this since the beginning, and we're being called insane because it's a conspiracy theory. Well, hey, guess what? Told you so, bitches.
Yeah.
Sorry, not sorry. I stuck to it. I'm going to stick to it. But hey, evidence is evidence. Truth is truth. It's just people that decide to they decide what they want to see and what they don't want to see, and they're just going to be closed minded, and we're just going to have to fucking deal with it.
Yep.
Anyways,
so back to you,
regular guy.
Yeah. All righty. I believe he's ready. I'm sorry. We've been texting back and forth. We're going to bring Jason Mariner on, and he's going to, excuse me.
COVID.
He's going to tell us a little bit about himself. All right, Jason, if you're ready, we're going to go ahead and bring you on, brother.
Go ahead.
There he is. All right. There, you're
What's
on, brother.
up, Jason?
What's up?
All right, there we go. All right.
There you go.
How y'all doing?
You're gonna have
All
to
right,
stay
how
closer
are you?
to your mic, my friend, because you sound like you're in a barrel.
that is a high speed microphone,
All right,
bro.
that's not good. I'm having technical difficulties. Sorry, guys. Can you hear me?
No, you're good, man. You're good.
Good.
Relax. All is well.
Up then. I'll use my indoor voice.
There you go.
Well, Jason, if you could tell us where you're at, what you're running for, and about just a brief bio, because I find your story very interesting. Very interesting.
You know, I'm a pissed off conservative guy here in South Florida. I got involved in this very spur of the moment. I've always been a historian, and quite frankly, I've been disgusted in this country after seeing what I've seen for the past year. And I hear a lot of commentators on, YouTube and, all these different platforms complain. Can you believe Biden did this? Can you believe they did that? And yeah, of course I can believe it. They're socialists. So, you can't sit there and say you're a patriot if you just complain about what the other side's doing. So I say, involved. There's no reason you can't. You set your own limits in this world, and that your limits are going to be what you make them. So I come from nowhere, and I decided to run for Congress. Why not?
Right.
It didn't make sense. There was
Hell
no
yeah.
reason not to. And I know well what our founding fathers said. When they wrote that First Amendment, they were talking about the Capitol, the United States Capitol, and to go there to petition your government for a redress of grievances. And they've built a wall around that place, and they've taken that away. And, as we dismantle our rights through this COVID hysteria, if you look at world history, communism has killed more people than anything in the history of civilizations. And I have 2 kids in the other room right now. We've got an impromptu set here, and I said, you know what, I got to jump in. So it's South Florida, Congressional District 20. The guy that's been in there has been in there for 15 years, passed away. Never did a whole lot, got in a lot of trouble. Not that I haven't, but I got in trouble a long time ago, and this guy was getting in trouble while he was in office, just like half of Washington. And, the difference is we got to go in there and we've got to not be the silent majority anymore, because the silent part is what's killing this country. People remain silent because they said, we're going to be labeled homophobes or xenophobes or racists. Well, we try to silent. We try to remain silent, and they still say that. So what's the point? And just because they say it doesn't make it true, but they repeat the lie long enough, people start to believe it. So, I said, put up or shut up. And, I went to the Republican Party here, and I said, I'm going to run. And they said, I said, why not? Show me a better candidate. I'll step out of the way. And it was Wednesday of last week. I got kind of the nod and some endorsement, and I had 2 business days and a Monday morning to make it to Tallahassee with a filing fee, and filing 12 noon, and I filed at 11:38.
Nice.
There you have it. Not your conventional congressman. So, their answer was too hard, don't try. My answer is no, not on my watch. So, this country's falling what can I do to help you?
Right.
You know, that's really what it's about. You know, the politicians knocking on your door saying, "Hey, I'm going to give you this and that."
Mhm.
They work their way to office and they do nothing. They sit there and get rich and they stay there. And
They get comfortable.
Mhm.
yeah. So anyway, it's a pleasure to meet everyone. Thanks for having me on. That's who I am. I'm nobody. The guy that's trying to make a difference in his country. And I'm not going to go anywhere until I do.
I'm going to say something real quick because I like your message, but here's what I'm going to tell you, because I heard you just say that at the very end of what you were saying there. You're nobody, but the reality is we've all got to stop saying that. We've all got to stop saying that, because we are all somebody that needs to do something for this country. Otherwise, all the nobodies are going to pile up in the back door.
Well, the point is to inspire everyone who's sitting there nobody, because now this nobody is in the congressional race, and everybody's turning their heads thinking, where the hell did this guy come from?
Right.
And, you know, one of my opponents in the Republican Party, you know, he you know, from what it seems, he just sticks his name on the ballot for a resume and doesn't show his face. And you know, I'm running on honesty, and you know, part of my past was a severe injury where I got hurt, started taking you know, pain medication, and then it went from there. I think probably everybody can relate or knows somebody who's been there. And you know, this guy pulled up you know, some trouble that I got into, and I said yes. So years ago, you know, he told this community, who would you rather have, this guy or the correctional officer? And I said, you know, look, they made me be in there. You choose to be in there. I don't know who's smarter, but you know, you take a guess on that one. But you know, the nobodies, what that means is that nobody's a nobody. And I always say that you're only nobody if you think you are, and the message is the nobodies need to get up and become somebody.
I agree with you, and that's why I said that.
I actually really like it's, you know, using that phrase or that term, a nobody, during a campaign, because for so long, so many of us can really identify with that as people who have been nobodies in the political process, but starting to get more and more and more pissed off about it. And like, it's time for the quote unquote nobodies to, if we can't get through to the people representing us better, then God damn it, we're going to become one. We're going to be we're going to be the representative of the people, to where people, you know, where it's not a nobody thing anymore. It's us. It's we. This is the direction we're moving. But I see what you're doing there with the nobody thing. I'm a little bit different than Shannon, but I kind of like it.
Well, so hold on. Let me clarify real quick, because I agree with everything that's been said. I'm totally on board with the nobody going in and doing what's going on. What I'm trying to express to you is that when you say that, what I would like to hear is that you're a nobody trying to do something for everybody who deserves to be somebody. That makes sense. And when I say that, I agree with what you're saying, and I totally appreciate who you are and what you're doing and why you're doing it, because honesty to me is like, listen, I'll be the first to tell you, I don't really like to lie. I kind of suck at it. And for the most part, like, I'm just going to tell you no matter what you feel like. And I'm going to tell you that I'm going to tell you this with all the love in my heart. But I'm going to tell you, if you look like a prostitute, you look like a prostitute. Sorry.
So you really meant that when you said that to me?
Pretty much.
He confirmed it in the truck with me after he told you.
But it's completely out of love. But you understand what I'm saying, John? I totally agree with your wording. I get it. And what I'm trying to say is that I think that America needs to start to understand that nobody is a nobody, just like you said, and that we've got to start explaining how nobody is not acceptable anymore.
Jason, I gotta say, you are the epitome of what I try to preach every single week here.
I literally just called him John. I apologize, Jason.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the. Okay, well, I would have corrected you.
No, I just called John Mini, but
either way. But you are the epitome of what we try to preach every single week. The lower people, the peasants, the peons, us little people that instead of sitting there and bitching about everything like, way too many other people that we know, it's time for us as the silent majority to no longer be silent. And it takes people like you to step up and be like, you know what? I'm a human being and I have a past, and just like everybody else out there. And I would rather vote for somebody that is an actual human being, that has lived a life, an honest life, and has been through some shit and has learned the hard lessons. I would rather vote somebody like that than somebody who has grown up in politics and knows. And it's, as soon as you're in politics, it's a whole completely different animal.
Well, if you grow up in it, you literally are born with a monetary vacuum that sucks up all the bad shit you ever did.
Right. And a monetary value on top of that. And it would be easier, and I'm just speaking as a person, as an individual right now, it would be easier for me to wage my bets on a real person and give my money to a real person rather than somebody where you have a doubt in your mind as to what their agenda is. What are you actually there for? And that's the scary part. And I try to tell everybody that you need to step up, like join the school board, get more involved in your kids' schools. They're attacking our children right now. They're starting from the bottom and starting at the top, and they're meeting in the middle, and that's us. So you keep doing that shit, brother. I think it's absolutely amazing that you have the balls to actually do that for people that don't have the balls to do it themselves.
Put your money where your mouth is. Yep.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. I don't know who said it. It might have been Chesty. I'm not sure, but he said, I don't trust a Marine unless he's had Article 15. Which is, you made a mistake, you screwed up, you did something really dumb.
It's not even,
and you paid for it like a man, and now it's gone. But I don't trust the guy who it's just all clear all the way. That's come on, you got to have some ghosts in your past to be a real person.
Right. There's always a skeleton in the closet. And my buddy Dan Frawley on here says, corrosion conformity song, vote with a bullet. Like, we're getting to that point, man.
It's scary.
Mm-hmm. What did you have to say, Jason? What?
I got it.
Oh.
Did we lose?
What were you saying, Jason?
Ladies first. Go ahead. Ma'am.
No, I think you're good. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm good.
Right,
I thought we cut you off for you when you were trying to say something. I apologize.
Well, I got a question. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Uh-oh.
And go.
Rock, paper, scissors.
You're first, Jason.
All right.
Jason, you're the guest.
Yeah,
you go.
Yes.
Yeah, the school board thing has to be addressed. Education is where they start, and that's a pillar of communism. And something that people fail to realize these days is, and I failed to realize for a while, is that no nation sits secure, and America is not the ground that you stand on. It's the Constitution. It's what this country was founded under. The Judeo-Christian values, the idea of self-governance, stay out of our lives. Small government can run our own state. We don't need your help, and don't meddle in our affairs. And when you start to tell my kids what they're going to learn and that they're bad, because has anybody thought that every single civilization has employed slave labor at some point? Okay, so you don't blame young German girls for the Holocaust any more than we do young Japanese kids for Pearl Harbor. So what is this? They're creating tribalism. And I go out there and talk to people, and I start to dissect that imaginary line that's been drawn for all of us, and they understand real quickly when a real person talks to them that it's all been created. It's just a story that they're telling. The problem now is they can control the megaphone. They've got the megaphone,
Right.
and this is going to be a war of attrition. I started a YouTube channel, and it grew to 390,000 subscribers in 2 days. Turned it on, and it was at 6. And that's really what got this going for me. They kind of took the mask down, and when the White House press secretary gets on and says, we're to track and flag problematic posts, we've got problems. And,
right.
It's up to every single American.
It sure is.
We're going to learn when China or Russia comes over here, because we're going to forget about who's black, white, red, brown, gay, or straight. We're going to all be protecting one another, fighting against the common enemy if we don't drop the crap Americans again.
Well, you would hope that that's the case. I mean, but the way things look, there's so much division right now. Like even in the Republican Party, like there's so much division in the Republican Party, like it's hard to actually discern who's where and why and how and all that happy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay. So Jason, a couple questions here. I'm looking real quick since the year 2000 in your district. It has been full out Democrat since 2000. And I'm looking at the percentages, and it's not even close. Now, you are the front runner for the Republican Party in your district.
I'm sorry, I'm having some trouble.
Uh-oh, we're freezing up.
Yes. So, look, the answer to the I'm having some problems hearing y'all, but. Look, the answer to the problem is not it's too hard, don't try. I've never lived my life that way. I've beat worse odds before, and I refuse to accept. And if our founding fathers were here, they would shoot us for saying it's too hard to try.
Yes, sir.
And I refuse to believe America is past the point of no return, and I'm not going to go anywhere until that I smashed, because it really I came over to Texas during Hurricane Harvey. I got in my pickup truck, and I told everybody that I knew, bring over supplies, and we wound up with a 26-foot trailer loaded to the ceiling to back door, and no one gave a damn who I voted for, or what my religion was, or what the color of my skin was, and we were taking people in boats of all walks of life, and this was in Liberty and Dayzetta, Texas. And when things get real tough, people forget about those invisible, imaginary boundaries, that are created by these villains in the media. When a hand reaches out and you're drowned, So someone commented on my for Congress page today. What are you? And I said, a Republican. And they said, I would rather die than vote for a Republican. And, that's not true, because if you were drowning and you wanted to get in that boat, you wouldn't ask me if I was a Republican or Democrat. You'd grab my hand. And, I hope, I pray every day that we don't have to act the hard way. Because it's getting to a point where we're in a constitutional crisis. And, like I said before, this country is that Constitution. It's not the states put together. It's not the landmass. It's quite literally, you have the United States across the seas in different embassies. The Constitution applies there. That's the United States if you're in an embassy. You're just not in the continental United States. And if that idea is gone, if that Constitution is that living, breathing, organic, nonsense version that the radical left talks about, we're done for. That's it. It's worked real well for 250 years. Why stop now?
So, Jason, how are you being received down in that area as a Republican?
almost feel like it's a heavy weight, and I'm ready to carry it. You know, like I said before, almost the people that were filing, they were just doing it seems, for a resume. You can't possibly be serious if you don't show up. You know, and I'm not going to bash people, but when you don't show up to talk to your own constituents in the district that you're running for, and you have someone else representing you time and time again and saying, yeah, well, you know, so-and-so's busy. You don't mean business. You're not here to help. Well, I tell you, we've got drug addiction killing almost 100,000 Americans last year. We've got a border where that's just going to worsen the issue. We've got the system falling apart. Those are all things that get fought on the local level, and then you wind up in Washington, and you have a and you know, my hope and prayer is that young people start to see this, because if you look at Washington, the people that are being heard are young. They are not afraid. You know, and I tell this to Washington too. When I get up there, I'm going to have a wrench with me, because I'm going to start taking down that fence, because it doesn't belong around that. That's our house. Yep. That doesn't belong to you know, Madam Speaker Pelosi. That is our house. And they work for us, and they've forgotten their role in this country. You know, iron fire. You know, so you know, we got a new era. And, there's a gentleman that I work with, and he's been in for a long time, and he's more than happy to see a new face in there. And that's what we need in this country. We don't need disheartened young people to, you know, take the country over and take it back. So if we don't care, you know, we're in some rocky roads, and you know, like I said, constitutional crisis. I'm ready to bring the fight to Washington.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's awesome, man.
Okay, so Jason, in a district that the largest race living in poverty is African American by a large percentage, what will you do to improve this statistic? that the two others, and I don't even want to say her name, Wasserman Schultz and Hastings hasn't been able to do. You got you, Jason?
For the community, because they haven't defined you know, the guy whose seat I'm going to you know, it was pay his girlfriend an exorbitant salary and indicted. And you know, they want to talk about, you know, irrelevant, you know, sugar cane. That's what reporters want to talk to me about. And I'm like, well, let's talk about drugs and the crime and the in the streets, and let's get body cams for cops for your production. Let's talk about what really matters in the community, and not these you know, distract you. While, you know, it's like a opera field. You know, you look at the left and the magic's happening, and the right when you look behind the wall.
Hey, Jason, guys, let me ask y'all something. Do you want to go to the break early and let Jason reboot and come back?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Is that cool with y'all?
Jason, I actually have an idea.
And
okay,
American, how much is American? You know, I don't.
Yeah, we need.
Well, so with this reboot, like I'm looking at the bottom of your microphone, Jason, and there's absolutely no cable.
Because they created that.
You can't.
He can't hear us at all. Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's do that. Let's take a 2-song break, and then you work out the tech with them behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Smoke 'em if you got them.
Yeah, we'll take a quick break.
If you got them.
We'll come back. And then let him know that there needs to be a cable in the bottom of his mic connected to his all that happy stuff. That's why we're listening to him on computer volume.
Yeah. Or you can just get closer to his laptop.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
All right.
All right. Well, I'm texting him right now. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and do our Texas trivia and everything. Go ahead and get it out the way. We'll go to the break 10 minutes early. That's cool with y'all?
Yeah.
All right. So as we do every week, we have the dumbass of the week, and we also have Texas trivia. So we'll go with dumbass first.
Yes, please.
This comes from the Marion County Sheriff's Office.
Oh no.
It starts off with you're going to think we're full of hot air when you read this. But for the first time in 175 years of existence, we have recovered a stolen hot air balloon. We received word from the Indiana State Police last night that a hot air balloon was stolen out of their jurisdiction. What was just spotted at the village's hot air balloon festival. being held at the Florida Horse Park.
I can't with this guy.
Marion County Sheriff's Office deputies responded and confirmed that that it was indeed the stolen balloon, and the owner didn't want to press charges, just wanted his hot air balloon back. The balloon, I don't know how this happens, but the balloon was towed and will be returned to its proper owner. I'm not real sure how you tow a hot air balloon, but there you go. Stay classy.
Finders keepers.
What a tool.
Finders keepers.
If you want to steal my hot air balloon, you can just have it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here.
If your hot air balloon isn't insured, you probably don't need it in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so for Texas trivia this week, since Minnie's here, we'll give away one of his old jock straps from the Marine Corps and a koozie, maybe a sticker or two.
I didn't realize we wore jock straps, Minnie.
Just me.
Just me.
Yeah.
PT belts. Yeah.
Freaky like that.
That's creepy.
All righty, so for trivia, we got two questions here. Which one do y'all want to do?
Do the first one.
Okay.
Do the first one.
All right. So actors Mark Hamill from Star Wars and Gary Busey, everybody knows who he is, the little Buddy Holly story. They starred as brothers in a comedy that lasted only one season. What was the name of that show?
Oh my God.
What?
Actors Mark Hamill and Gary Busey starred as brothers on a comedy that lasted only one season. What was the name of that show?
Was it called the Crossdresser Twins?
Maybe.
Yeah. That ding, ding, ding.
I would not put that past Gary Busey at all.
How much time? All right.
Oh my
God. Sure Gary
no
Busey's
answers.
still wearing. I'm pretty
10,
sure Gary Busey's still wearing his jock
9,
strap.
8,
Yeah,
7,
you would have to know a little bit about it to even
5,
look it up. So
4.
I found it pretty quick.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah.
1. Nothing.
All righty.
Nobody.
That's why I was like,
The Texas Wheelers. The Texas Wheelers. So that's our Texas trivia for the week. That's the name of it.
Should have totally been Crossdresser Twins.
I'm totally gonna have to watch this now. It's probably absolutely horrendous. I love that.
Daniel Frawley's a tool. Daniel Frawley is an EOD Marine who is a tool. I promise you.
All right. Well, guys, Jason, what we did is we went ahead and are you there with us?
Yeah, he's here.
Okay.
He's here.
All right. Well, Bud, we do Texas trivia and Dumbass of the Week. We do that every week, right at the break of the show. So if you'll hang tight with us, we're going to play some music and we'll be right back. I'm sorry.
Go for it. Go.
All righty, everybody.
I'm gonna have Todd send you my number. We're gonna talk through your technical difficulties.
All righty.
All right, what song are we playing? Dear Mom?
We're gonna do Dear Mom. We're gonna do Dear Mom and let's see here. We're gonna have a double shot. We'll do Dear Mom. That way we can work through this while we're doing that.
Barrett says I need to breathe.
All right, we can do that. All right, guys, give me just 1 second if y'all can talk.
Just talk our way through it.
How about I just put it there?
Put her there.
I don't know what we're doing.
Right.
It's a break.
All right, guys. I'm sorry, fellas. We're having many technical difficulties. Jason, if you would mute and turn off your cam, we'll be right back. Rev Nation, thank you. We'll be right back in about 5-10 minutes.
few minutes to write down what's itching inside my mind. It's been too long since we have talked about nothing at all. Wish I could call. I know you're lost. Please don't you worry. There's no need to hurry. Just stay strong. It won't be long before we're together. Right here in heaven. I miss you, Mom. Dear Mom, please believe I've done everything I needed to. Dear Mom, I'll be there when you breathing while you're sleeping. Dear Mom, I know you are hurting, feeling the burden of me not there. You're way too strong to give up on living instead of still giving the love in your heart. I know it's hard, but never forget the things that I did and the reasons why you are my mom. So please keep on living, caring and giving. I love you, Mom. Dear Mom, please believe I've done everything I needed to. Dear Mom, I'll be there when you breathe while you're sleeping. I can't believe I'm saying these words to you, but believe what I'm saying. You made me the man that I am. Dear Mom, please believe I've done everything I needed to. Dear Mom, I'll be here when you breathe while you're sleeping. I love you, Mom. He sits on his bed with his gun in his hand. He thinks his life is over, he can't understand. A bottle of whiskey and some pills in the drawer. He doesn't want to hurt himself or hurt anymore. Why must it be this way? Just think it all over and listen to the words I say. You are not alone. There are so many people who fight with their demons each day. 'Cause you are not alone. So take my hand, brother, let's beat this together today. You're not alone. up the clothes that fall loose on the floor. She finds a crumpled letter just behind the door. Begins to read it with tears in her eyes. A horrible feeling takes over inside. Says, honey, can I talk to you? There has to be something that we can do. You are not alone. There are so many people who fight with their demons each day. 'Cause you are not alone. So take my hand, baby, let's beat this together today. You're not alone. You're not alone. 'Cause you are not alone. There are millions of people who fight with their demons each day. Yeah. And you are not alone. So take my hand, son, let's beat this together today. You are not alone. You're not alone. You're not alone. Sits on his bed with his gun in his hand. He puts it away, 'cause now he understands.
Welcome back, everybody. Regular guy had to take a break for
Jason's going to be back in a few minutes.
He had to take a potty break.
Jason's going to be back in a few minutes. We're going to bring him back in on his phone, I think.
Good.
Ah,
That's
there
a little better.
Yeah. Yep.
Good
All right,
songs as always, Mr. Buck.
Jason, let's introduce Jason. Oh, hi, babe. Glad here with you all.
Bud, man, what's up, dude?
The man bun.
He's waiting on his welder.
So I think that I've come up with a sign for the city council. Man bun city council.
I like
Okay.
it.
Nice.
I mean, it's simple, easy. I just can't believe he said that about himself. I'm going to throw my man bun in the ring.
You have to.
I'd vote for the man bun, dude. I would.
Absolutely.
He's going to do city council. I'm going to do the school board. We're going to take them from all sides.
There you go.
Yeah. But so we're going to have Jason Mariner back on. Just wanted to give him a quick intro real quick. Congressional candidate in 20th Congressional District of the great state of Florida. So that's who we had on the first half of the show. We had a little bit of technical difficulties, but he's got a lot of cool shit to say, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what he has to say about the most recent activities. When we get him on, I'll ask him some questions.
You know, one thing that really impressed me about him is somebody that's been through what he has. You know, a lot of folks are going to look at him and be like, "Oh, I don't want somebody like that in there."
Yeah, but why?
You know, just like what you were saying.
Yeah.
That's exactly
John, your wife says the kids are in bed, so now all the real fun is going to happen. But just make sure you keep your clothes on, will you?
Yeah, at least the shirt.
Oh, all right.
I mean, you can sit there with your pants off if you want. What'd you do to your shoulder, bro?
I had reconstructive surgery on it last week.
Well, congratulations. How's that feeling?
Horrible.
Yeah.
And a bone spur shaved off, shaved off, whatever, and it's about a dime-sized cyst drained and removed, rotator cuff, and I tore the labrum off the bone, so they had to put that back on.
Way to do it right, man.
Yeah.
You sound like my kind of guy. I only have half a collarbone over here, and the rest of it's got a toggle bolt holding it together with my freaking my shoulder blade, and then the half of my labrum, the end of my labrum, is screwed into the end of my small collarbone.
Yeah. On top of all that, our hangovers get longer and longer every year we get older.
That's why I don't do them anymore.
Yes. No, waking up without a headache is amazing.
That's why you gotta drink that White Claw. We figured it out. We got no shame. There ain't no laws when you're on them claws, especially when there's 0 calories and you're being healthy doing it. You're hydrating. You feel better about yourself because you're not having all them calories.
I'm so glad that I invited Dan Frawley to come watch the show, because it would never be a Marine Corps Navy show without Dan Frawley, Meanie, and me. Because I'm telling you, the sidebar comments, like, look, Doc has a kind of guy. Shocker. That comes from Dan Frawley. I'm not shocked.
Well, I'm his fan now.
Dan, you are my kind of guy. That's why the silver bullet is your best friend.
I thought about it. I mean, so in 2000,
I think you should do it.
The owner of the dealership that I was a service manager at decided he wanted to run for city council. He was 1 month younger than me. And just basically, we got him elected city council. He stayed city council for 2 years and then was elected mayor. Then somebody removed his testicles.
That's shocker. I want to give a shout out to Dan Frawley and Floyd Cape, 2 of my favorite Marines.
All the Marines.
They both smell like sin, shame, and bad decisions, but I love them.
That's why they have a U. That's why they have a U.
True
Hey
story.
guys, we've I'm sorry, we've got a bit of a family emergency going on right now, and I'm going to bow out for just a little while. Please forgive me, and I'll be back just as soon as I can.
You do your thing.
Take
Take
care
care
of
of what you
brother.
got to take care of. Well,
That's interesting.
I had a thing. Oh, careful! This is the red power crayon. You can't put that in front of these guys. You
Oh, I'll eat the shit out of
Be
that.
careful.
Actually, my favorite's blue.
Don't be busting out the red power crayons around here.
Hey, there's the Jason, man. How are you there, Jason?
Give me a minute. Let me unplug it from this other.
Yeah, just turn the volume down on that.
You want me to kick his other one?
I did.
Beat me to it.
Ah, weird.
I got you. Oh, your welder's here. Go get it.
That's service right there. My tool guy delivers at 8 o'clock.
Damn right. Because we pay his electrical bills.
Jason, say something. Say something weird.
He's muted, I think.
Oh yeah, hold on. I got you. Now say something
You got me
weird.
now.
All right.
I'm running for Congress.
I like
something
things
weird.
and stuff, and I touch things and don't say that too loud, because apparently, people down there get weird with that shit. Whatever.
Oh, that's great.
Hey, Jason, the one thing I wanted to talk about during the break, but it was a little difficult with the technical difficulties there, is I want to thank you for doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because, and I kind of want to go into it a little bit, because I think the typical voter hasn't seen the side of things that you've seen. My history is law enforcement, so I've seen what you've seen from a different perspective, and I understand it. I like seeing somebody that has seen that side want to get involved.
Yes.
Because it makes such a difference when you're going to go out there and legislate for these things.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I don't know how you were treated back in the day, but things are changing. I was part of a program that deals with veterans and the court system, and the way they treat it now is all trauma-based treatment and trying to divert people out of that system. that's what we need. We need folks that'll support those agendas and, well, not agendas, but just doing the right thing for the right reasons. Giving people some choice instead of just throwing them away.
Yeah, no, I agree. I may or may not have said that on a private phone call with him, so you guys can kiss my butt. But you know what? My buddy Floyd said something. He says something very valid here. Voters are morons without a clue for the real world. The reality is that the world today is not voting on logic anymore. We're literally voting on emotion, and it's sad.
And that's why we ask the questions on this show. The way we do is we want to ask the thought-provoking questions, so maybe people open their eyes about what's really going on.
Yeah, that's the point. That's the point. Get minds going. You know, ruffle some feathers. That's what you got to do. Ruffle some feathers. Get those minds working. Yep. You know, dust those cobwebs out, and let's start getting to business.
So, Jason, I do want to ask Jason a question since we got him.
He's wanting to say something. He's about to try to keep cutting him off. Go ahead, Jason.
Jason, go ahead. You just tell us what you want to tell us.
The system is so damn broken, but one thing I will say right off the bat is I learned when I got well that there's a very fine line that separates cop from criminal.
Yes,
it really is. All of my friends now seem to be cops. It's the strangest thing that's ever happened. Now, you know, the past can sometimes seem like it was 5 minutes ago, and it can sometimes seem like it was 30 years ago, but in reality, it's always looming, and the system is broken. When I got clean, and I say this to a lot of people, that you're one injury away from becoming addicted to drugs, and this affects especially here in Florida. Nationally, it's 1 in 5. 1 in 5 people have someone they love that's affected by addiction. And that issue, and 93,000 Americans dying last year alone from addiction. Why are we focusing on other things? Why are we not paying attention to that? And look, it was simple.
Mirrors, buddy.
It was simple. Yeah, it was simple but very tough. I discovered that the key to getting through that was taking some people's advice. And I'm not a traditional, I don't do the traditional, getting clean thing, but I started helping people and I found a purpose. And my purpose was I started a business. I stopped swinging a hammer because I started realizing that, why am I making these guys all this money? And I could do a much better job on my own. And I started an advertising company out of nowhere. And people say, you can't do that. And I said, what do you mean I can't? It's $1 billion industry. It's very hard to break into. And I started a company that went national in a year. And then I started another company. And I realized that there's nothing you can't do. This is the land of opportunity. If you think that's gone, guess again, because they told me last Wednesday that I would never make the qualifying time, and it took 2 days. I literally had a Thursday, Friday, and then a Monday to drum up the donor money. People had never heard of me, but I introduced myself, said hello, and gave some common sense, practical ideas as to how to fix some of these issues that we're faced with. Like, take for instance, if you get pulled over, you've got 10 pills in your pocket and track marks all over your arm, you're getting taken in for intent to distribute. So you're getting locked up for that. That's a socialist system paying into a wasteful system that does nothing for anybody. And it's a revolving door, and it costs taxpayers dollars billions of dollars every year. So I also co-founded a treatment center, and I said, why don't we legislate to allocate these empty beds all over the country in treatment centers, that when someone gets arrested, they get into a treatment bed. But if you get arrested and you got a wad of cash in your pocket, a Rolex on a gold chain, yeah, you're going in for intent, because officers have what we call intent or discretion, and it seems to get lost somewhere between the officer bringing them into the detention center, and then the discretion is just done and over with. It's you're charged and you're held, and then you're released, and the first thing the person does is call their dealer and say, pick me up and get me my fix. So we're locking people up and just recycling them and sentencing them to death. I mean, 96% of people don't make it past that. And that's a terrible statistic. So, you know, when they told me that the odds in my district were bad, I said, well, I'll tell you about odds and what I think about them. I think you should shove your odds. And y'all have had your chances to do things your way, and you've ruined it. So here we come. And, you know, my greatest hope is that, you know, look, I'm going to win this race and I'm going to shock the world. I've done it before. And I'm not doing this for myself. I'm putting everything to the side except for my family to do this. That means, you know, I'm foregoing a company that I can make good money on and I'm comfortable in. And there's no greater duty than to, you know, help your country out when it needs you. And like I said before, this country is withering in front of us, and people are sitting on their rear ends doing nothing but complaining. And I'm sick of it. You know, when I started the first podcast I did is I said, I'm gonna tell you I'm a patriot, but I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna actually exercise my rights, you know, as outlined, you know, very early on when this country was first founded. And you know, our founding fathers, they had this childish belief. They had no reason to believe that they were going to win that war in 1776. I mean, it was 1.3% of colonists that fought against a trained military. Why did they think they were going to win? Because they had God. And, you know, that's a real important factor in this. This is a country that's being led away from faith and education and family.
Yes. Yep.
You know, we've got to get those pillars of our society back, and they've been under attack for a long time. You know, I'm just now starting to really see how they've been doing this. This isn't a last administration or the previous. This has been a couple decades in the making. And, you know, when you take a step back and look at what's happening, it all makes a whole lot of sense when they say, how can this be happening in America? Well, if you look at it from the perspective of maybe, just maybe, they're trying to take the castle and keep it, then it makes a lot of sense what they're doing. So, you know, yeah, my, you know, it's Jason Mariner for Congress and common sense, because there's really no common sense anymore. There's this just frenzy in society that we're so divided that we can't, you know, maintain ourselves, and no one's paying attention to what's really happening. You know, this take, for instance, defunding the police. I've never heard something so ridiculous in my life, because you got to hear what they're saying. They're not really saying get rid of the police. They're saying cripple the police, get rid of them, and then we'll send our police in, brown shirts, federal police, because you can't go to the sheriff's office here in Florida and say, go, you know, step on people's constitutional rights, because Governor DeSantis doesn't let it happen. They wouldn't do it. But if the Biden administration's writing their paycheck, they will. And,
well, my buddy Dan says right here, those elites are playing the long game. And he's right. That you're exactly right. What you're saying is the long game, and they're literally trying to shut things down a little bit at a time to take over the castle. And when the castle is theirs, then we go back to serfs and peons and kingdom. And I don't think that there are a lot of us who are not ready to do that.
Yeah, I think Shannon's right on that, especially you see the chipping away of gun control. But Jason, I wanted to ask you something. This is something that's really bugged me for a long time. It used to be a badge of honor to be an American citizen, to come to this country and then get citizenship. People are very proud of that. And some people still are, don't get me wrong. But there is a eroding of the importance of citizenship, of being proud of this country. The last couple of years has gotten really, really bad. And I think you're starting to see blowback, as far as negative blowback, because you're starting to see people do things that you haven't seen before, a disregard of law enforcement and whatnot. But what do you think about not just illegal immigration, although it being in Florida, that is a huge thing for you down there. But what do you think about the eroding of the value of citizenship in this country? Because it seems to be not important. It almost seems to be like a bad thing now, that we're all racist and America was never great for anybody, which is the biggest lie ever told in history. But I'd like you to comment on that if you could, sir.
You know, sure. It's not true. It's just like anything else that the media does. They take that 0.1% of the population and they put it on the screen and they blow it way out of proportion. And when that's what you see, it's a lie just being repeated over and over again. Because,
who said that? Who said that? Was it Goebbels? Joseph Goebbels said that, didn't he? If you tell a lie over and over and over again, people will believe it. Yeah, right. Weird.
I think it was a philosopher, maybe Plato. I don't know, but I know our founding fathers studied philosophy, and I started to do that. I wasn't the kid that was in school. I was cut in school, and I was reading the books on my own because I wasn't, quite frankly, interested in what they had to say in school. And I educated myself on the things that I wanted to learn. And I wanted to learn about American history. And this is one of the things that led to me seeing this is education. And I kind of maybe missed the tail end of the real American history education in the school system. And now it's just gone. Millennials, like I don't know where the age line of demarcation is for that, but a lot of young people these days don't even know what happened in World War II. I don't know how that's possible. But again, then if you look at it from their point of view, and maybe what they're trying to do is truly take over this country, you can't change history. You can just lie about it. And when you start lying about it, you should be real concerned because we see it happening in real time. They're tearing down statues, and it's just they're this administration is making
they're removing boulders for being racist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're push this administration, and I got to tell you, I firmly believe this. They're pushing too hard, too fast, and everybody's getting upset. Now you have the silent minority that has that. How did we do this? Look at this guy. He can't. I mean, he says. Over and over again, we hold these truths to be self-evident that we with the we the people thing, man. You know how we say it, and I hear that, and I'm like, oh no, we got a real problem, and that's arguably one of the most important lines of the Declaration of Independence. But he's the guy that drives the train off the tracks, and then instead of saying let's get it back on the tracks, just lights the thing on fire and caps it off with we the people, which is the Constitution. People are ready for this. This is what I see the excitement when I talk to people, and they see if I put a suit on and you see a photo of me without the tattoos, you don't know me from a Kennedy, but if I roll up my sleeves, people are like, wait, what the hell is going on here? And they're ready for it. I've been talking to people, and they're like, thank God there's not some crooked establishment swamp rat politician that's going to just come and tell me that they're going to give me money all the while they're reaching in my back pocket as they're talking to me. One of the Democratic candidates in this election is telling people that she's going to give them $1,000. Well, what do you mean by that? You're gonna buy people now, and you're not gonna get that money, first off, and second of all, if you did, you'd pay it back double. It's gonna come out of your pocket one way or another. Nothing's free.
But here's the crazy part about the crazy part about that is that they're literally doing it right now. That's why you can't find workers to fill job placement, right? Because they're literally giving people money to stay at home.
Here's what's crazy to me. We have literally gotten to the point in politics in our country today where free ice cream for everybody is no longer a joke.
Trophies.
It's no longer a joke. That's what they're doing. They're doing the old middle school
everybody's the same.
Or no, what is it? Student council president trick, like ice cream for everybody. Are you shitting me? This is how
works for me. Shit.
But I mean, this is how we're going to garner votes as in our country for the presidency, for Congress. Like, are you kidding me? How about instead you tell us the policies that you're really for? We decide whether or not we're on board with the majority of those, and then we decide whether or not to vote for you. Not what are you going to give me? And this is where conservatives are losing out, because for the most part we refuse to do that. It drives me nuts that we're, there's a reason that they stopped letting kids give out suckers with their little campaign literature for student council, because that's not how it works. It's not about what you're giving people, it's about policy. And all of a sudden, literally in federal politics, we're handing out suckers with campaign literature, and it's like, oh my God, you're kidding me.
Well, how about this? I've never had a politician knock on my door and say, "What can I do for you? What do you need for your life to be better?" They tell me what they're going to do. I donate to their campaign, and then they turn around and do the opposite or nothing at all. And I've got some. I'm sorry.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you.
So my approach to this thing is, look, I have some real inside experience on a lot of the things that are destroying our community, and I know the way out. When you've been to hell and you've come out, you can help people. You can help guide people out of it. And when you have 93,000 Americans dying every year from addiction, watch that number double this year, because we've got no border. China's selling fentanyl here like crazy. And, you touched on the illegal immigration. 70% of people detained by CBP, what they tell them? They're heading for Florida.
Right.
And I say it all the time. It almost seems as if Florida and Texas are the last two free countries in the United States. And this is where everybody's flocking to. And I encourage them, you're welcome to come here. I understand you're like political refugees, but remember where you came from and remember why you came here, because you're gonna have nowhere left to run to if you don't remember where you came from and why you came. Because look at New York, look at California. These places are falling apart. California used to be a great state. You know what they did? They changed the population in 1982, or I think it was. And they changed the vote. That was the state that elected Ronald Reagan into the presidency. That was a red state all the way. And they changed the population and they changed the vote. So don't think it's an accident that this border is happening the way it is, and it's being demolished. It's intentional, and they're fanning them out strategically. They're coming to a city near you. They're not sending them to New York. They've got enough. But I got to tell you, I think people are better than that. I really do, because I talk to them and I go out and I ask them, do you really think that systemic racism is really this thing? And some of them, after you talk to them, they see that, okay, that if that really was as big an issue as they say it is, there would be some real evidence of it, and there's not. You ever notice, for instance, global warming, and they say you're going to die in 8 years or whatever their number is? It always stays the same. So like 8 years ago, it was you're going to die in 8 years, and it's 8 years down the road, and we're still here. The sun hasn't collided with the earth. So it's just keep you scared, keep you on the fence. So how about we just fix things in our backyard, right, and carry our voice to Washington and show them that we know how to make a difference in our own lives. And, look, James Madison wrote a paper. It's the Federalist 46. He said when the federal government starts doing too much and starts pushing on you too much, don't comply. Right. Now, the other side's using that to their advantage. And, this is going to all come down to we need to unite, come together, support one another. And this is not about red, white, black, brown, gay, straight, rich, or poor, because we're going to find out real quick how much we love one another again when this country starts to fall apart. And let's say China or Russia capitalizes on what's going on in Cuba.
They've already capitalized on
it. So we're in a real precarious spot, and you've got to just get out there. Don't be disheartened and think that your vote's not going to count, and don't think I try to play the tape through for people, that are kind of feeling like their vote doesn't count, or that this is a situation that we can't come back from, because nothing is ever too far gone until you're dead to come back from, and we're not dead yet. So we ought to get together and start doing things to change things while we can. And I tell you, the room of people that I was in front of the other night when I said my piece. I never in a million years thought I would be running for Congress, but never in a million years did I think I'd see my country have its constitution be chipped away at like it's been lately, and it's being destroyed quickly. So you got to answer the call. I mean, this is a real problem that we're living. This is a constitutional crisis that we're in, and like I said, people are starting to see that they're pushing too far, too fast, and I think the game is up, and we're gonna wise up now, and start loving our fellow neighbor, because what you're seeing on TV is not real. It's they've overplayed their hand.
Yeah.
So it's time to use that to our advantage. Look at Cuomo. Cuomo just stepped out of office, found guilty. So justice.
He may or may not have been backed into a corner because he was dumb as shit anyway. But I agree with you.
Yeah.
So
justice still works.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that I want to caveat on what Jared said to you earlier. Like, I think that you going into this, and the fact that you're going out and talking to people, like, instantly, that tells me more about you than anybody else in the run. So, if you're going out and you're actually talking to people, and you're actually not just talking, but listening, getting to know what they need, getting to know what their interests are, and letting them know that you're going to do what you can for that. Like, that's a huge win. So I'm automatically gonna be that guy. I'm be like, you know what? I don't care what party you are. If that's where you're at, I'm a big fan. Care, So I want to say that it's awesome that you're doing what you're doing, and I think that it's great that you're doing it, and you're being completely transparent about it. And I think that that's a huge step that this country should learn to appreciate, because we talk about transparency all the time. And the reality is there's not a piece of transparency on TV. There's not a piece of transparency on the internet. There's not a piece of transparency for sure on Facebook, Twitter, it's Instagram, Reddit. They're all private companies.
Mm-hmm.
They can do what they want. So
not anymore. They're not. Nope.
Yep.
Not anymore. Well, when Jen Psaki goes on national TV and says they're working with Facebook to monitor, track. Yeah, you're not private anymore. And I've been saying that for 2 years now.
Right.
One of my companies just arbitrarily got shut down, and I had to file legal paperwork and send it into Facebook. It cost me thousands of dollars. But I said, I don't care how big they are. That's not what matters. David beat Goliath, So you can't get pushed around. And I've said it for a long time. They are not private. Of course, they're working with, the powers that be, if you want to call them that. And they're doing their bidding. And, we're all starting to see it. They announced it. I couldn't believe it when they said it. But, I wasn't such a crazy lunatic after all. And I said, see, I told you they've been doing this a long time now. They just finally said it. So there's a lot of things that have to change. And, you can change things on a local level. I'm not going to run on a platform locally, and talk about how I'm going to go attack, which I am when I get to Washington. I'm going to attack these big tech tyrants that are taking away our freedom of speech. That's the new town square, is the digital space. And when they start to infringe upon that, they're taking your rights away. So I'm going to go there and I'm going to handle that and talk about that. And they won't shut me up. Believe that.
Right.
But here locally, we've got to hone in on the issues that are plaguing our communities, like drugs, crime, police. Police. I talk to police. I ask them what they need, and you know what they want? They want qualified immunity, right? Because of course, why would you be a cop if you don't have that? So it's like body cams. I asked a friend of mine who's a police officer this morning. I said, "Would you have a body cam?" And they said, "Yeah, just keep our qualified immunity." And I said, "Done." We've got to address that. One of the I walked my 5-year-old into school for the first time, into kindergarten. And we got to the door and he started crying a little bit. And I knelt down and I said, listen, we're tough. I'm a phone call away. I've got your back. Don't worry about a thing. Remember, this is how John Adams' son became a president. He learned things and his dad taught him.
Right.
So you're going to be just fine. Right. When you don't have dads in the home, that's a huge national issue that we need to talk about.
Yes.
A lot of candidates that are not that skin color, we're all hung up on black and white. There's white families that don't have dads around, and that's, you got to have a father figure. So I'm willing to put up a portion of my salary every year and have it. I'm talking 5 figures to have centers built and mentorship programs constructed so kids don't have to go to school without their dads. I'm going to put my money where my mouth is on like other politicians, because I'm not gonna become a politician that plays that get rich game, because who cares about I care about my kids' future. I don't want them to die a bloody death because communism will kill them, and I know that. And it kills everybody, right? So over my dead body.
Communism always starts with socialism first.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really make a distinction, quite frankly. I mean, it's just a euphemism for the infantile stages of communism, and we're getting real close to it. And
well, so the only reason I said that, though, Jason, is because you have Bernie Sanders talking about socialism and how it's helpful and how it's going to be great for the country and blah 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 blah. And the reality is, right, exactly. You show me how that worked for Venezuela 7 years ago.
Right.
Because I promise you, one of the most wealthy countries in the world literally fell, and people can't find a place. They're killing each other for freaking hot dog.
Yep. Yeah. No, they'd be lucky to have a hot dog at this point. And that's one of the. I mean, we just suck at education now. We suck at world history. We don't know what's happened. You had Romans living in Rome 200 years after the fall of the Roman Empire. They hadn't figured that out yet, and that's why I make a big deal out of, look, America is not the ground that you stand on. It's the ideals and the values of the Constitution. And again, when we drop this nonsense agenda that these tyrants are creating, that you're black, I'm white, you're gay, I'm straight, whatever the case may be, when we drop that and just figure out that, hey, look, I can help you, you can help me, we're Americans, we're neighbors, we live together. Let's just get back to that. When did this become a country where you have to go and ask a girl, hey, are you a Republican or are you a liberal? Because if you're a liberal, it clearly won't work. Right? That never used to be a thing 5 years ago. Now it is. That's how quickly they've done this. And when you explain that to people, they really have this kind of light bulb go off. You can see they understand. And I'm gonna keep telling people what's going on, and they're not gonna shut us up, right? We're not gonna let them do this anymore. You have these people in Washington that want to destroy our lives, and if you think for 1 second, I'm sure there's someone out there who's laughing at us right now watching this thing, and just watch. You think they're after us? Watch what happens should they silence us, which they never will. They'll silence you next. This is not about this is going to destroy party lines across the board. You have a one system country. You don't have a country. You don't have borders. You don't have a country. You don't have fathers in homes. You don't have police in neighborhoods. You don't have drugs off the streets. You don't have a country. You have the Wild West. And we're starting to see that in Chicago and Baltimore and these cities that are being destroyed by liberal policy. So,
but it's not even really the Wild West, because back in the Wild West, I'd just shoot you in the face and walk down the street.
And it's funny that you brought up Chicago, because right now, Beetlejuice is crying for more money for the police.
Oh my God, I can't either.
I don't know if you covered, and please forgive me, excuse me for being gone. We had a thing. We got actually still have a thing going on, but I wanted to jump on here since you're on here, Jason. And if y'all covered this, then please shut me up.
Shut up.
Okay, with what's going on in Oregon, I'm sure everybody's seen it by now with the education.
What's going on
standards.
where?
In Oregon.
Okay, yeah, sure.
I've got a lot of background on what's going on. All of a sudden, our house became very busy. So what's going on with Oregon is they're lowering the graduation standards. They're no longer requiring passing grades, and it's not SHOP. It's not home ec. They're not requiring passing grades in reading, writing, or math. What is Congressman Mariner, what will you do to make sure that doesn't happen in Florida, and what will you do to fight the good fight on that?
Listen, people are starting to beg me to go to these school board meetings because, the loudmouths are on the left and they're the ones that you hear from. You're going to hear from me on this because, thank God we have Governor DeSantis in our corner here saying that you're not going to do this. If you're caught pushing CRT and corrupting our youth, you're going to lose your job, right? And we have counties with entire school districts ignoring their governor, and they're going to find out the hard way because he's not going to put up with it. All right, we're not going to put up with it. I'm not going to put up with it, and we're going to make sure our kids are taught. Parents don't want their kids growing up stupid. The politicians do, because if you raise a generation of idiots, you're going to have a generation that's easy to fool and easy to control and easy to manipulate. I'm trying to break things down into simple terms for people, because the way they explain, no one can understand anything that anybody's saying in Washington. Look, they're trying to make your kids stupid so they can fool them later on down the road. All right. It's easy to fool someone who's not intelligent, and they're trying to create a generation of intelligent people. I mean, uneducated people. When you have a generation of intelligent people, you're not going to steamroll them. So we're seeing divide and conquer, right? Get them to fight amongst themselves. You have a weak population that won't stick up for one another. That's what's going on. You have a corrupt educational system where they're using this. Has anybody noticed that no one's had the flu in 2 years or a year and a half, whatever it's been?
I may or may not talk about that a lot.
Every week.
What's that?
I said I may or may not talk about that a lot.
You say, well, look, this virus is a real thing. I said from the start that it came from China. China needs to be held accountable. And, so here's the real trick. All these social justice warriors that, compete on behalf of the United States, why don't you go compete on behalf of China and kneel when their anthem is played and see how well you do? You'll be shot in 2 seconds. All right?
I promise.
So, when you have a guy like Colin Kaepernick, I'm calling Colin Kaepernick out. Okay, you're kneeling for social justice, and you're sponsored by Nike. Well, guess what they've got in China right now? They've got concentration camps filled with Uyghur Muslim men. You know why? Because, well, number one, it's free labor. And number two, they're separating them from the women, and the Chinese Communist Party's going in there and raping the women. They're performing genocide through rape. They're raping the gene out of that population. And this is stuff that's not. So you've got the social justice warrior that's saying, he's been oppressed somehow, even though he's making millions of dollars for throwing the football the wrong direction. And people are falling for it. Wake up. Vote with your dollars. I put stuff back on the shelves when it says made in China. I will not comply. I'm not going along with this. And, when I talked to, some of the local party members, I said, look, I've either got your support or I don't, but I'm going and I'm going to do this. And they kind of said, I don't think so. We'll see. And you've got to just try. There's no harm in trying. Look, they're going to put everything I've ever done out there. I don't care. My life's an open book. Say what you want about me, but I'll tell you this. I'd rather try and lose than not try and never know what I could have achieved. So, that's the real message. We've got to strive for more. We've got to strive for better. We're not going to accept the standard that our kids aren't going to have to graduate school. What is that? What country is this? We're like, this is the greatest country in the world. Let's get it back to that.
Right. So I want to say something real quick because we got this guy, Ron Ripley, over here in the comments. And I'll just be completely honest with you, Ron. I would love to sit down and have a conversation with you one-on-one, even on the air, to be completely honest with you. But here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that you're not going to want to have a conversation. You're going to want to have a bulldozer. So if we can figure that out, you can message me at Shannon Libro on Facebook. We'll have a conversation and we'll figure it out. I promise you, I'll bring you on here. I have absolutely no problem with that. But right now, like, I don't know who you are, and I really don't know what's going on. But I'm interested, and I'm okay with having a conversation about that because I want to talk about both sides, but I don't want to have a freaking steamroller conversation. And I'm not going to have you on the show to actually have you on here to tell me I'm an asshole or stupid. I can't have it.
Well, and look, here's the other thing. No one's denying that there's something called COVID-19. What I'm saying is that I'm not getting vaccinated because lightning strikes people either. All right. There's no point to me. And you know what? If it was killing 1 out of 2 Americans, you know what? That's still my choice. And then, it's my, what I put into me is my choice, whether it kill me or not. Leave me alone. That's my business. A year ago, it was unthinkable to ask somebody their medical history. That was called illegal. And now we have these people thinking there's these laws, and they're not laws. There's no legislation. It's just made up laws that people think exist. It doesn't. You're not vaccinating my kids. You're not going to make them wear a germ farm over their face. Okay, my kid's my choice.
I'll tell you what is a law, and it started out as the Privacy Act of 1974. That was a law. That was an act created into a law to protect everyone's privacy. That was then later turned into, in 1998, 99, it was turned into HIPAA. At that point, it's still a law. It's still a law. And what we're doing is we're literally creating this fear-driven society to where we can literally obliterate a law to do whatever they want to do.
Right.
I mean, everybody's seen V for Vendetta, right? Like, everybody's seen that movie, V for Vendetta, right? What's the key line in that movie?
Yeah.
It's the fear. It's the fear that gives you control. Because, oh my God, I'm going to die!
I got a real quick question for you. What is it that is so effective about guerrilla warfare? Is it numbers? No, it's not numbers. Is it firepower? No, it is not firepower. It is not knowing where the next shot's coming from, an overwhelming understatement of fear.
Sorry, guys, I got to plug in so I don't die on y'all.
That's literally the definition of guerrilla warfare. And here's what's going on: we are literally in political guerrilla warfare.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's exactly why I'm here. That's exactly why I'm here. I tell people all the time, I'm not your conventional candidate, and I never will be. If you want one, look somewhere else, because again, they had their chance. It didn't work. So here we are. And that's what America needs to hear. Here we are. Your way didn't work. It's our turn now. Take it back. And that's going to resonate with people. We just need to set a better example, and, certainly set a better example for our kids. And, it's going to start with short-term strategies. Like I said in the beginning, we need to get, if you take drugs, for instance, and you want to keep people alive in this country, right? Get them well. Stop spending your money locking people up for drug related. Get them well. All right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Look at what happened in my life. I went from injury to addiction to incarceration to running for Congress. I was in our state capitol filing a run for Congress. If that's not the American dream, I don't know what is. All right. So if you tell me I can't do something, you're just putting fuel in my tank. So, we just gotta we really gotta just look, when I get in front of somebody and I talk to them, I walk away with their confidence, because I'm not going to tell a lie. I'm not going to make a promise that I can't keep. If somebody asks me a question on policy and I don't understand it, I still get back to you on it. Let me find out. I'm not going to make it up as I go.
That's cool.
You know,
and so I made a statement. I'm sorry. I apologize to cut you off, Jason, but I made a statement to this guy, Ron Ripley, a few minutes ago. And he's like, this is your show. I just want to chat about Jason's point of view. I'm a veteran. I have an opinion that can be expressed respectfully. So here's what I'm going to tell you, Ron. We've got 10 minutes left. And if you want to ask a question, put it in the comments, man. We'll talk about it, brother. I promise you. Like, veteran to veteran, like, I'm all about having you here, but I'm going to need you to be more respectful of some of the comments that I've seen in this chat.
Hey, real quick, and I apologize again for stepping away. And Jason, you and I talked about this on the phone a couple days ago, and I know where you stand, but I want people to know where you stand on this.
Shoot.
Okay, so I know you back Governor DeSantis on most, if not everything, and he's also been.
I would say everything unless there's something I don't know.
Yeah, and he's also been there for you too. And you're like I said, your bio. If you haven't read about Jason, please do, because his story is it's like you said, it's the American story. But getting back to the question, as we look everywhere in the United States, your school's back in session now. We started ours Wednesday, and it was just an absolute shit show going back and forth to work with school buses. But anyways. Where do you stand on the mask issue for school?
My kids, my choice. It's easy. It's my kids. It's my choice. You know those.
Okay. Now, but there's a second part to that, though. Okay, so now they're wanting to mandate nationwide, not only teachers but students get the test once a week.
Well, I'll keep my kids home. I'll keep my kids home, and a lot of people will too, because, you know, why the big sell? If you're vaccinated and you're cool and you're the person that's been vaccinated, why are you trying to push me to be? I don't understand. You should be safe, right? Okay, so look, I'm not excited to get it, and I'm not saying one way or another. Does it work? That I'm saying I'm cool. I'm all right. It's my choice. That's what this country is about: is the right to choose. Okay. Right. And then, you know, somebody said something. I said the right to choose. And they said, oh, so you're pro-abortion. I said, no, we're not going to compare what I put in my body or my kids to the elimination of an unborn defenseless life. And I'll tell you something about this, too. I was born 9 weeks premature. All right. I shouldn't have made it back in the 80s. Right. It was a miracle that I lived. And, you know, I'm strong as an ox now, and I beat the odds, and I'll take the fight to whoever wants to fight any day of the week. So you're not going to convince me of this nonsense, and, you know, I'll be your strength when you don't have it. And you know, I just want to let people, especially in my district, know, because this is my home. I care about where I live, and I see it year after year just get worse and worse and worse. And it's just because we have people in office who don't care. They don't care. All right. They say they do, but put your money where your mouth is. Why don't you follow through on your promises? Why don't you knock on my door and ask me what you can do for me? And, you know, that's what I always ask people. What can I do for you to make your life better? I've got ideas, believe me.
And so I think
that I'll get done.
Right. I think that I heard you say earlier that, you know, God is important, and God is. So I'm pretty sure that that's kind of where your values are. And that's probably a lot of where your sobriety came from, which is, I'm a huge fan, because I've been sober now for 10 months, and God's the only reason I'm sober. I'm not a conventional sobriety kind of guy, but Jesus Christ is the reason that I'm here. And it's the reason that I do what I do. That being said, what I want to tell you is that I'm grateful that you have absolutely no problem with telling people that. And you are truly a picture perfect representation of what God can do in a man's life.
Pretty cool.
Absolutely. God can do this for anyone. And, you know, here's another thing that we should all have really caught on to. When they started saying we couldn't have our kids say the Pledge of Allegiance. This isn't happening here in Florida. That was the first thing I asked to the teacher for my son. Are y'all saying the Pledge of Allegiance? And she said, of course. If they don't want to do it, they can step outside of the room. And, I'm like, thank God we live in Florida. But, it doesn't say Christian God or Jewish God or Muslim or any God. It just says God. And who didn't figure out the fact that they just don't want you to have faith because they know that the people that earned our freedom, that defeated tyranny, the first flags that were flown over the battlefields of the Revolutionary War said an appeal to heaven. Yep. So they had faith. Faith wins out overall. And, you won't find a more faithful people than the people in my district, okay? They're church. People in my district go to church. People believe in God. We believe in God. This is Florida, okay? We're in the South, all right? It's just the coast that's lined with, people that come down from New York, and that's great. But remember, again, where you came from, and God needs to be brought back into the house. God needs to be cool again. I was never baptized. This is something interesting. I got baptized during the Easter Vigil, and I was the tattooed guy in a congregation of polished up people. I don't know what you're
talking about.
Sorry?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So look, I say this sometimes. It's like join or die again. This is, we've got to drop our egos in this country and realize where we're at, because this is not about ego anymore. This is about saving America. And I say this to, people on both sides of the fence. And the other thing I really got to say is this is not a Republican versus Democrat thing, because I got to tell you, I'm not a Democrat by any stretch, but Democrats don't do what's going on right now. This is a radical leftist agenda that's being played out. Remember, this is a two-party system that we live off of. That's what keeps America intact, and we're losing that. It's becoming radicalized, and we need to lose that. Just all come back a little bit to understanding again that, look, we're Americans. We're in this together. We live together. Okay. The people up in Washington will never be able to relate to them. I'll be a fish out of water when I'm up there, and I love it because I'm going to yell at them and I'm going to tell them how it is. I can't wait the day I get to tell Madam Speaker Pelosi, this is not your house. This is ours. Y'all work for us, not the other.
Preach on, brother. Preach on.
I want to be on the floor for that.
And you hold, and I tell people this too. You hold me to that. I work for you. I'll never be confused on that ever. I work for you, not the other way around. And
right.
That's it. I work for you. I'm here for you. What do you need from me? And while we're figuring that out, I've got some ideas that and I'd ask all of you, what do you need for your lives to be made better? Because this is a what's that?
More ammo.
Yeah, look, we don't want it to get to that point, and we've got to. How about this? How about like more fighting spirit ammo? Like we sign up and petition and we run for office. How about more of that kind of ammo? Because I don't want to see a fight. None of us do.
None of us do. None of us. If anybody doesn't want to see a fight, it's veterans. We don't want to see that fight. We don't want to participate in it. We don't want it to happen because we know what's going to happen. We've seen it happen.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to uncork that bottle. Nobody does. Joe Rogan said, people don't understand. You don't want to uncork that. You don't want it to happen because these people have been doing it for 20 plus years and we're very good at it. And we don't want to do it. We're the last people on earth that want that to happen. And that's why we're putting our faith and support behind someone like you who's going to do it the way it should be done. And I hope that you win. And I already know that you inspire, but I hope that you win and you continue to inspire other citizens to say, well, this guy did it. I mean, look at him. Being facetious, but
right.
Look at him. I can do this too. I can take over a school board. This ridiculous school board full of Karens who are telling me that my kid's a racist, even though my wife is black and our kid is mixed. But because he's half white, he's racist or she's racist. And so I think that's the anger is coming to the top. Unfortunately, it hasn't come to the top quick enough. And hopefully it does bowl over in a positive way in that more citizens in this country get involved. They take over school boards. They take over city councils, become mayors. They run for state representative, and they're successful there. They move on to the next level. And I think that's kind of what we're doing.
I don't want to, and that's the other thing too. You know, I don't want to take over anything. I want to make something. I want to fix something that's broken right now, and that's the system. The system's broken. Everybody knows it. You know, I don't know what this guy's talking about.
It's the comment I was making.
My husband, he's got a smart ass remark for everything. But my husband is Bud Allen, and he wants to be your hype man on the house floor. You know, when you start bitching people out.
I'm first.
Well, you got it. Look, I'll tell you, this is going to be seriously one of those things where we can make a difference. Look at the other side. Look what they're doing. AOC was a bartender, and she's in Congress. She doesn't know the 3 branches of government. All right.
Mm-hmm. We literally have a freaking Somali who hates America in Congress.
Yeah. She hates my mind. She came here though, but.
Guys, it's 21:02. We're 2 minutes over our time. There's a show on behind us. Let's go ahead and get final thoughts in. And Jason, thank you so much for coming on tonight. Oh my God!
Guys, listen, everybody support the cause, because if you go to marinerforcongress.com, hit the donate button, because unfortunately that's what it takes is donations to get this done. I'm not in this for money. I'm in this to help people, and I wish it wasn't like that, but you know, one of the things I'm going to do, and you'll see it all over the news. I'm going to knock on every damn door in this district, and I'm going to earn people's trust. I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to trick them out of it. I'm not going to lie to them for it, but I'm going to shake their hand and earn it. And I'd like to see some other politicians put in the work like that and do their damn jobs and start serving us. So until I'm one of them, you know, start serving me a little better and give us back our house.
Right.
So, you know, again, marinerforcongress.com, and, you know, maybe throw a link up there so people can check out the page, because there's a real good story on there too. It's at the top of the page. It's a little bit of my story, and I'm going to reveal some real cool stuff that's happened in my life along the way that's kind of led to this point. But it's going to unfold, and you know, it's my God's honest hope is that it inspires people to get involved and make a difference and earn what we want back. We have to earn it. It's not going to fall into our laps because our neighbor's going to do it.
Right.
We all have to earn it. So,
well, guys, real quick before we go, I'm going to go ahead and give Lynn his shout out here. He is doing a hunt for us for disabled veterans. We are working on a number and the place right now. Hopefully we'll have all the details worked out within the next couple of weeks. But here's Foul Cutter's Guide Service. Lynn Vaughn has been a longtime follower and supporter of TTR Rev Nation. He's donating a hunt to disabled veterans. We're hopefully going to do it either at the end of the year or the beginning of next year. It's a lot to put together and a lot to do, but we're going to make it happen. Final thoughts, Jared?
Get her done.
Shannon, you're next on Hollywood Squares.
All right, that's. I don't even know what to say to that.
Circle makes a square.
Circle makes a square. So I'm going to say this. I appreciate you coming on, Jason. I appreciate you putting your story out there into the world, and I appreciate you for doing what you're doing. And you listen. I've got 20 on it, brother.
Yeah, I'm putting
put a little more on it.
Up.
I put more money down on it because we're gonna shock the world here, because you can't underestimate the power of David. You know, David beating Goliath, because good always wins out over evil. Don't lose the faith.
I said 20 on it just because I thought I was being a little funny, but I got 20 on it, man.
I'll tell you what, I'll put a little money in that hat too, Shannon. We'll go ahead and make it happen. Amanda, what's your final thoughts for tonight?
Well, I guess the same as every other week. Go out there, be good people. If you can't, then I mean, you're going to be on a list, I guess. But Jason, we really, I think that you are a very inspiring gentleman, and I really hope that we can help you get your word out. I just actually put your website at the bottom of the page here on the ticker and on the comment section. And when I put this up on our other social media platforms, I'll be sure to put your website in there as well. But thank you
it's
so,
on Facebook
so much.
too. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Facebook. I'll
Thank
stick
you.
that one around there.
Thank you. This is for you, and I'm speaking to my constituents and the rest of this country. This is for you. This is not for me. I could have an easy time doing something else and really kick back and but I know what that's going to do, and it's going to leave my ass open for a whooping later on down the road. And so I'd rather do the work now and get it taken care of. So you'll see. Awesome. I'll be in Washington in no time.
Amen.
I like
Minnie, what you got, brother?
Thank you, Jason, for being part of the Texas Revolution. We really appreciate it. You're a walking Tom Petty I Won't Back Down song, and I love that about you. I got faith in you. And to all my veterans out there, if you can support Jason, please do so. And remember, never take a permanent solution to a temporary problem. We need every one of you veterans out there. And other than that, have a good night and God bless.
God bless.
Hey, guys, in the world that we live in. Oh, go ahead.
I want to say thank you all for your service, for watching out for our asses. We need to do more for our veterans too. This is another thing that we're going to put on the agenda here because it's disgusting. I see my friends waiting in line, and they'll die before they get treated, and it's sick. We're putting illegal immigrants before our own veterans in this country. We've got it ass backwards. It's time for change.
Preach.
Amen, sir. Amen.
Yep.
So
in a world that we live in where the Olympics give out a gold medal to an Iranian for shooting competition that took out women and children in Syria, I'm just going to say this right now: the hell with the Olympics and all the kneelers during our anthem. To hell with all of you. And I'm going to say for here, let's just be good to each other. It's not that hard. It's really not that damn hard. It's not. No. And opinions and views are just that, opinions and views. And until people can learn to come together and not scream you're a racist because you voted for somebody, or you're a POS because you're a liberal. You said that earlier, Jason, and it could have been, it can't be said enough. And I'm going to ask Rev Nation, if you do this, please keep our family in your thoughts and prayers.
Yep, for sure.
Please do. And Jason, we will support you all the way. I will be on the phone, and we're going to try and get you on again if you're willing to come back.
And I've got some guys for you too. That got a good message to deliver to America. Some old ushering in the new era, and that are willing to work with young people to get them into this, because I don't just fall on my feet here. I've got some instincts, but
Well, I can tell you that I think you've got our support, and it's awesome. I want to say this real quick. You can't leave out Barrett because Barrett's here.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's so quiet.
Your thoughts?
Jason, you're the type of person that you and men and women like you who needs to be representing us in Congress, not people who got there by nepotism or excess amounts of cash. So
where did he go?
I love what you're doing. I look forward to seeing more men and women like you who are fed up, going to Washington and making a difference and actually representing the people that they're a part of.
Awesome.
Well, from all of us here at Rev Nation to all of you out there in the world, we appreciate you listening, and we appreciate you listening during the week. We know everybody on a Friday night can't be here with us, and you watch throughout the week, and we do see that, and we do appreciate it. From all of us at Rev Nation, peace out. Have a good weekend.
I'm back. See you.
Back.
Hang out here.
Okay.
Hey, it's Florida. The power goes out. All right. You know, we have lightning strikes. But again, I'm not getting vaccinated against lightning strikes either. So,
I just want to tell you, Jason, that I have your number, so you're screwed.
Yep.
Yeah.
all right, man. Hey, listen, I give my number out to all my constituents. It's on my website. You're free to call me and harass me and call me a POS, and you're free to ask me and tell me what I can do for you, and I'm more than happy to do that. And I think that that's going to be something that counts, because I want to hear from my constituents that I can serve and ask them what they need. So I'll end with this. It's real simple. God bless America. That's it.
Yes.
Amen, brother.
Jason, just to let you know, we did let Minnie loose with a Sharpie. He wrote your number on the stall at Buc-ee's. Y'all have a good night. Thank you for joining us.
I don't know what that is, but thanks.
It's a truck stop, brother. It's a Texas truck stop. So anyways, thank y'all for joining us. And Jason, good luck in your campaign. We will keep in touch and hopefully have you back on if you'd like to come back on. From all of us at Rev Nation, all of you, we love you. Have a good weekend.
Good night, y'all.
God bless you guys. Thank
God
you.
bless.
Don't go anywhere.
Oh.